Good morning, Year 10. Today we're going to be looking at Part B of the poetry question. There's a Part A and a Part B. But before we get on to that, I want you to make a list of all the poems we've studied. There's 15. See how many you can remember. Really stretch those brains. See how many you can remember. Here they are. A Song, Bright Star, Now, Love and Friendship, A Broken Appointment, Find of Fate, The Sorrow of True Love, An Arundel Tomb, Love After Love, Morning Song, Long Distance 2, I Wouldn't Thank You for a Valentine, In Paris with You, Warming Her Pearls, and Dusting the Phone. I wonder how many you got. So today we're looking specifically at Part B of the poetry question at GCSE. So your title is Part B of the poetry question. And here's how the question might look. It would look very much like this. Explore another poem from your anthology which expresses longing and desire. Or it could be that expresses hatred or whatever. But that's how broadly the question will look. Things you need to know. It's worth 20 marks. We'd expect you to write just 1.5 pages, or the examiners would expect you to write 1.5 pages. You should aim to include a minimum of 6 to 8 quotations from an appropriate poem. You've got to analyse language, structure and form. You've got to use terminology, and you've got to mention the reader. Now, just in case of any confusion there, language, structure and form, you all know what language is, don't we? We say this phrase, it's a pure paragraph. A quote, this phrase says this particular word says that, this is why I picked that word, and then a link back to the question. Terminology is simply saying this, like simile, metaphor, that's all terminology, and you have to mention the effect on the reader. Right, obviously the first thing we have to do is to decide which poem it is that we're going to talk about. So the question is, explore another poem from your anthology which expresses longing and desire. So the key words in the question are longing and desire. Longing means a deep but rather melancholic desire. Melancholic means a sort of sad, so it's a deep but slightly sad desire. So you could have a song, Bright Star, A Broken Appointment, Warming Her Pearls, or Dusting the Phone. And desire there, the other key word in the question, is someone or something that's wished for. So you could have Now, I Wouldn't Thank You for a Valentine, Warming Her Pearls, or Dusting the Phone. This leaves you with 2 options, warming her pearls or dusting the phone. So at this point you would decide which one of those you knew best, which one you could get 6 to 8 quotations from. Okay, now we're going to imagine that we've picked Warming Her Pearls. Remember the poem about the woman who wears her mistress's pearls all day to get them ready for her to go out in the evening, and she seems to have some sort of crush on her. Which was a dramatic monologue, remember. Warming Her Pearls is a dramatic monologue expressing an obsessional desire and a forbidden longing. So your task now is to write down the 6 quotations you would use for this essay question if you were using Warming Her Pearls to answer it. Highlight the words you would focus on and make brief notes. So you're going to pick out 6 quotes from Warming Her Pearls. I'll let you use your books for this one that show longing and desire. So pick out 6 quotes and highlight the words in them that you would talk about. Right, focus on the Warming Her Pearls. Next to my own skin, her pearls. This focus on the senses, touch next to my own skin. Mistress implies a power divide and perhaps explains the longing for a better life. Round her cool white throat, all day long I think of her. The poem begins in the morning, suggesting the intensity of her feelings. All day I think of her, it's desire and longing. Silk and taffeta, rich materials, again focused on the senses. Which gown tonight suggests that she doesn't have to worry about anything else. Perhaps her desires her mistress's lifestyle. There we are. Slack on my neck, her rope. The pearls do not sit well on her slack. They are made for her mistress. Emphasises the distance between them. This implies longing. Persistent sense. She would dance with men all night, but her mistress should always be carrying a part of her in her milky stones. Admiration or jealousy. Okay, here we are. More annotations I want you to think about. I dust her shoulders with a rabbit's foot. Watch the blush deep through her skin. She pays very close close attention to her mistress's actions. I don't need to go over all these. Just read them and write the notes into your books. So you need to bullet point these annotations alongside the quotations that match them. Now, as an exercise, let's do another one on the same question using dusting the phone. Explore another poem from your anthology which expresses longing and desire. Dusting the phone features a strong personal voice which discusses the anguish of separation. So write down 6 quotations you would use for this essay question if you were using dusting the phone to answer it. Highlight the words you would focus on and make brief notes. You can use your books, Year 10. And here are the bullet points I would like to see in your books regarding dusting the phone. I won't read them all out because you can read. And here we are, the second part of dusting the phone. Do the same thing. Read the poem. Bullet point it's part of your essay plan is what you're doing here. So you're not annotating the poems. It's part of your essay plan to bullet point these quotes from the poem. Now here's the bit that I want you to upload onto Classcharts. Explore another poem from your anthology which expresses longing and desire. So we've looked at warming her pearls and dusting the phone, and I want you to pick one of the other ones. If you look back to the beginning of the video or the PowerPoint, you'll see that we isolated 3 poems that were appropriate to answer this question with. So there's one left that we haven't done. That's the one I want you to do. So create a plan to respond to this question with that poem. You should consider your overall argument, what ties all your ideas together, and you can use this essay in this plan in the timed essay that we're going to do next time we talk about poetry. So there you are. You've got to make that plan. That's the thing I want you to upload onto Classcharts. You're doing brilliant work, Year 10. I do empathise with you. This is not easy, but most of you are really rising to the challenge, and I think it's really going to pay dividends for us next year, believe me. So well done. And I will speak to you next time. Well, I'll speak to you tomorrow.